Okay, this is basically a question video, and I would like to get some response from people about the degree or I guess, the extent to which people can successfully get out of anthropocentrism. Now, I've heard, a lot of talk, criticism about anthropocentrism here on YouTube. People say, "Oh, you're being anthropocentric. You're somehow privileging human experience, or you're suggesting that humans are somehow more valuable as a species than other species, or you're suggesting that the way humans make sense of things or think about things is to be some measure against which other organisms are evaluated," or something like this. Again, there's lots of different ways that people come at anthropocentrism, but I think the question would be, is it possible, or to what degree is it possible, to escape from that? Now, let me see if I can try to explain some of that. Just, and again, I'm interested in what people's reactions are, the way that they would address this. The other day, I saw a bumper sticker, and the bumper sticker said, "Equal rights for all species." Now, when this person who puts this bumper sticker up and it says equal rights for all species, I think we understand what they're saying. They're trying to say, I'm wanting to be non-anthropocentric here. But the question is that anthropocentric or is it not? Now, if you say that it's not, how is that not anthropocentric? I mean, there's something very odd about the calling it non-anthropocentrism when you're trying to deal with the concerns over other species than your own, because that's almost definitively anthropocentric. That is, if I look out at nature and I see a squirrel, or if I see a cat and it has a hurt paw, or it has a broken leg, I can empathize with it, and I can really feel suffering for that animal. And when I'm concerned about it and I'm trying to get out of my own view, is that getting out of my own view, or is that in fact the human view? Do those animals comparatively worry about my broken arm? Now, maybe they do. Maybe I'm being anthropocentric. I don't know if there is any way out of this. I think part of the problem is that we seem to be using concepts, human creations, linguistic resources that we forget that we've created and used. If I mean, there's just so many different examples, but if I say, for example, that each organism is equally evolutionarily adapted to its niche or its environment, and it isn't as if there is some uh, phylogenetic scale where humans are at the highest point of it and then other organisms are like less evolutionarily developed. That would be a kind of anthropocentrism, a person might say. Now, I can agree with that. I think I understand the point. There's something very, right about that. But there's another sense in which that's just a different kind of anthropocentrism. That is, there's no such thing as niches, as environments, as hierarchies. Those are all just human concepts. We're just using human concepts to try to imagine what is somehow outside of human concepts. And so again, I'm not trying to disagree with the philosophical spirit of trying to not be anthropocentric. The question is there any escape from it? Doesn't it just get smuggled in the back door? Nietzsche has this great passage in his essay Truth and Lies in the Ultra-Moral Sense, and he says, and he's criticizing anthropocentrism, but he says that a gnat very likely flies through the air with the same pathos as humans do, sort of taking itself to be the center at all moments. And he says, who are we to judge the perspective of the bird or of the worm? Why do we think that the worm's perspective is any less legitimate or real than our perspective? To which I say, yeah, I think that there's so much that's right-minded in there. And yet another part of me is haunted by this. Does Nietzsche not notice that he's imagining gnat perspectives and worm perspectives? I'm not sure the degree to which worms are worried about whether or not our perspectives are somehow deviating from theirs. Now, maybe they are. But when you say that, when someone says, look, I have the knowledge that animals think and they have a theory of mind in the same way we do, there's something that seems to be very anthropocentric about that. Now, not in the obvious way. I mean, in an obvious way, it seems very non-anthropocentric. The person's going to go, look, no, I'm realizing that other animals also think in similar ways that we do. No, you came to that conclusion by empirical scientific study. I'm pretty confident that other animals aren't out there performing scientific studies and postulating theories of mind within academic, frameworks. Can they have Can other organisms have rudimentary experiences that are similar to us, dissimilar to us, the whole range? See, all of it starts to become very nebulous. I guess the moral of the story is very simply stated. I want people to please respond to this. If you see the bumper sticker and the bumper sticker says equal rights for all species, is that an act of a person being non-anthropocentric, or is that a kind of illustration and an exemplification of a different form of anthropocentrism? Okay, thanks.